So now that we have the IP address of the victim, we are going to scan this up, and there are a lot of ways to scan it. We can basically use the vulnerability scanners like Nessus Pro or Nexpose or things like that. Another way is to do a SYN scan, TCP scan, UDP scan, or things like that, where we do the network-based scanning. So we will be doing a very basic network-based scan using ZenMap. Now people do it with Nmap, so you can just go ahead and use the command line Nmap, and you can add the switches like S, capital S, S, capital T, and things like that. And you can add the IP address, paste it, and press enter. That's going to give you some results which will be faster than the ZenMap. But practically, I like to use ZenMap more. It even shows the topology of the network. So ZenMap, press enter, and wait for it to open that. Okay, here is the ZenMap. So here we are going to add our IP address, which is our target, and then we want to select the profile. So there is something called stage scan. In that, we generally do a quick scan, which is going to give us the results in less than a second. And here we got to know that there are two ports open on this machine, which is the HTTP and the RPC bind. Okay. And then we can go ahead and scan these ports in particular. But I prefer to use a intent scan in this environment because this is a virtual environment. And it says that there are two ports available, but in an intent scan, we may get more. So here is an intent scan. Intent scan all TCP ports. Remember, when you are doing an intent scan, don't forget to do a TCP and a UDP scan as well. So we're going to do that separately. TCP scan, let's open that. It's going to take some time, but as we are in a virtual environment, it will not take a lot of time. Just wait for it. And here you see, it says open, 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 open. It finds 4 ports this time. So a quick scan was not able to find these ports because it was trying on the default locations. Now you see there is a 777, which is probably a modified port. Nothing runs on this port by default. So intent scan has been finished. I think it has been finished. Here you see Nmap done. Now you see services, and it says HTTP RPC bind, but this time it also finds SSH and status. So SSH normally runs on port 22. In this case, it is running on 777, and that is why quick scan was not able to find this port. Now the benefit of using ZenMap on Nmap is that you can go to topology, and if you are scanning a whole network instead of only one IP address, it will show you all the devices here. How are they connected? So that's a big thing. And also it shows you these colors. So the devices which are in green, red, and yellow. So if something is in green, possibly you can go ahead and attack that easily. Something is in yellow, it's somewhere intermediate kind of thing. It's not sure you can hack it or not. If something is in red, it's not hackable. So according to ZenMap, right? It says it doesn't know what's it is. Is it hackable or not? It's not sure, right? Now you can even go ahead and see the scans we did. So these are the reports here, right? The commands which we used, and map output here. Now we really don't care about the output because we have that services right here. We can just get it right here. Now this is our TCP scan. We can even do the UDP scan, and I'll show you how to do that. And you can go ahead here and save the scan. So let's save it. It's asking us which one to save, and we need to save this one, which is the TCP all ports right here. I'm gonna say save it, and let's save it to our desktop, and let's create a new folder for that. Lab 1. we're gonna give it a name as tcp.xml. And actually, yes, we can actually save it in the nmap folder as well, format. So we are just saving it in XML, that's fine. Okay, that's done. And hey, where did we create that folder? Let me try to save it again so that we can see where did we save it. The lab1 folder, it's on desktop. Okay, it's not coming here, but it's on desktop, that's fine. Okay, it's on root desktop, so that's the problem. Let's save it on the school's desktop. Okay, create a folder here, lab1, and we're gonna save it right here. And now that's fine. And because root is creating the file, the school user cannot open that. That's fine. Okay, now let's do the UDP scan as well. So here is the UDP scan, intent scan plus UDP. I scan it. So the UDP scan still gives us the same things right here. That's fine. Okay. So now that we have all this information, I'm just going to open another scan which we did here. This one. So now that we have all these 4 ports open, this is the first step. We know that, okay, 4 ports are open on this machine. What we can do with it? We're going to see generally, because it also enumerates the version of the service that's running there. We're going to go ahead and there are 2 possible methodologies here. Either we will try to see, is this service which it is running on the port, so Apache is running Apache version 2.4.10, is this version vulnerable? Is there any exploit for this version? If we find something, we can do that and we can go ahead and exploit that. Just for the example, I'm going to show you. We just open the Firefox, we go to Google or the exploit database, and then we search that Apache 2.4.10, and then we say what's the vulnerability here. So it's a virtual machine. Sorry for the resources, it's a little slow. Okay, we say Apache 2.4.10 exploit, right? Let's actually search that on Google. It's gonna use DuckDuckGo instead. I don't care, I like Google much. So here we are. Let's just paste that in and press enter. Okay, here we go. It says yes, there is a CVE for it. There is the memory leak CVE in these versions, less than these ones. I think there are a lot of things with this Apache version. Now let's go ahead and check the Rapid7, because Rapid7 is the creator of Metasploit. Metasploit Pro is a tool which Metasploit or Metasploit Pro. Metasploit Pro is a paid one, Metasploit is the free one. So it's a tool which we use to attack almost everything in real life. It says that this is the CVE. There are actually a lot here. And it says that updated this. I think this is for another version, by the way. Okay, it's here. We got one. Race condition of most status module in Apache HTTP server before 2.4.10. Okay, so it says it was before this version and not in this version. Okay, that's fine. Let's just go back. Let's open the first one, because there is the CVE details is a very reputed site about this, and it shows us all the vulnerabilities that are possible. I'm going to zoom in for you. So it says this is the score. We want the highest score vulnerabilities. And this says the access, how will you get the access, complexity to gain the access, and things like that. But the attacking part, where is that applicable? It is applicable to 2.4.0 to 2.4.29. So yes, it can be. It's not like it will be, but it can be attacked using this CVE, this CVE, this CVE. All of them are applicable. Maybe someone will work, someone will not, right? If we see the high score ones, here we have a overflow. So those we really don't need those. Those doesn't give us any access. Overflow gives us access. Overflow, okay, 2.2.x before 2.2.34, and we have 2. Okay, it is here, and 2.4 to 2.4.26. We have 2.4.10. So it means it should come in this CVE. Okay, now we have the CVE number. You can copy that and search for internet for more resources. It says this can write past byte, 1 byte here, so we can overflow the buffer here. I think it should be by sending a content header response. Let's go there. Yes, you see, it sends by sending a content header response. We can overflow the buffer and we can get access to this. Now, all of this is, I know it's going from above your head. Most of the students who are new to ethical hacking, it's going above their head, and even some intermediate level people. I'm just showing you the approach which practically a person will use while a pen test, and it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of research. You need to see how the overflow will work, how I'm going to overflow this. This is the methodology 1. I'm just going to close it. And this was the methodology 1, that you just go with the services that are running. You try to find some exploit, some vulnerable services, right? But let's just forget about it for this time. We are starting with the lab 1, which is a beginner's lab. We don't want to mess with the high level things. So what we're going to do here is we will go ahead and try to see, are these services, not vulnerability in these services, can we just go ahead and use default passwords? Can we, like, we brute force these services like SSH? It's a login service, so can we brute force the login? And on the HTTP, which means the web browser. So if we just go ahead, we copy our scan target. If we go to the IP address, as it says a web browser is running, yeah, you can see there is a website coming. So this is the website web page here. So we can try to get more information on this web server and see if there is some web application vulnerability here. So this is a beginner stuff, and I think we should focus on this first, and in later lectures we can probably think about that buffer overflow kind of high level things, right? So let's continue this thing in the next lecture. This is null byte level 1, our lab, and let's try to figure out what we get in this home page. So that is how you do a ZenMap scan, and you find that, okay, this and this is running, and these were the 2 methodologies how you hack. And let's continue this.